I'm Saad in southeast London, and with me is Gregory. Gregory, how are you?
One is fine.
And how's the weather where you are?
It's quite warm here.
Okay. Uh, I'm in London, in southeast London, and the weather here is mild now, cool, you can say. And dear listeners, apologies for the delay in starting today. I don't know exactly what the issue was, but we couldn't connect. Gregory and I couldn't connect with the radio station. So apologies for that. We have now started. Welcome to the spiritual discussion program. The aim of the show is to introduce you to the spiritual knowledge in the light of truth, the Grail Message by Abdushin. And every week we have a new topic for discussion. The topic for tonight is Womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. Womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. You are welcome to join us with any questions or comments by contacting us on our UK number, which is 079 39 641 958. You can call, text, or use WhatsApp. And if you're outside of UK, then this number is 00447939641958. Again, you can call, text, or use WhatsApp. And there's one other way to contact us, which is by going to the website where we are broadcasting. That is Bless Radio 1. That's the number one.com. You can, on the home page, if you scroll down, you will see a box called Bless Chat. You can type in any questions or comments in there. I'm going to begin with, what is the Grail Message? The Grail Message, in the light of truth, by Abrushin, is a spiritual knowledge of life. It offers an explanation of the world, a picture of creation on the basis of natural laws. Its lectures contain valuable basic elements as a help in life. For through the knowledge mediated, the readers again brought closer to life and led back to God. The Grail Message deals with important fundamental questions of life by explaining in a clear and logical way the automatic working of the laws of nature, the whole weaving of creation, allowing every process to be recognized and thereby the purpose of our whole life. It is directed at the individual and speaks to the innate experiences of the human being, their strengths and weaknesses. Thus, every reader has the opportunity to discover through the intuitive perception if what is stated is the truth. Combining with matter-of-fact reasoning, a complete world picture arises, where there is no separation between the visible world and the great world beyond the five senses, nor any separation between scientific and religious striving for knowledge. I'd like to give you a couple of quotes from the author of the Grail Message, Abrushin. The hearer and reader of my lectures should always work within himself, keenly probing and building bridges from one lecture to the other, as well as out into the great and small world happenings. Only then will he be able to understand the Grail Message and find that it gradually shapes itself into one complete whole without leaving any gaps. Again and again in all the happenings, the reader will come back to the basic features. He can explain everything without having to change even one single sentence. The word of the Grail message lives so that it permits only those people who really carry the honest desire in their souls to find abundantly. All else is automatically rejected by it. For the arrogant and those who seek superficially, the message will remain the book with seven seals. And I've got one more quote from the author. I wish to fill the gaps which have so far always remained unanswered in the souls of men, and which never leave any serious thinker in peace if he earnestly seeks for the truth. So, dear listeners, just to remind you, the topic that we are discussing tonight is womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. Womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. You are welcome to join us with any questions or comments by contacting us on our UK number, which is 079 39 641 958. You can call, text, or use WhatsApp. And if you're outside of UK, it is 00447939641958. Again, you can call, text, or use WhatsApp. And there is one other way to contact us, which is by going to the website where we are broadcasting, that is blessradio1, the number one.com. And if you scroll down on the homepage, you will see a box called Bless Chat. You can type in any questions and comments there. Gregory, as you know, I like to look up the meanings of the words in the topic in the dictionary. So I'm going to start without, it's a long worded topic tonight. Womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. So the first key word there is womanhood. And I've got three meanings actually here. So first one, the state of condition of being a woman. That the state or condition of being a woman. Is that good for our discussion there, Gregory?
Well, you will find it would have been better if that expression woman is explained properly before one goes into the state.
Right.
It is manageable. One would just assume it.
Okay. Let's continue. I'm not sure this second meaning is better, and even the third meaning, if I'm honest. They just say the second meaning here, the qualities considered to be natural or characteristic of a woman. So again, I don't know, what do you say about this one?
These only points.
Right.
So these are pointers which also can be used.
Okay. What we'll do, Greg, let me finish this third one and then you can give your definition. So women, now the womanhood, it's saying, third definition, women considered collectively. So again, is that any use for us?
Again, it's a pointer.
Okay. You know, okay, so Gregory, I think we just go straight for the, let's say, the right or the good definition for our discussion. How would you describe womanhood for our discussion, please?
You already pointed out the states. And in that state, there are conditions. So it is the conditions of the present scenario that is being referred to, because it is all embracing. That state in which there is ennoblement. Anytime that expression womanhood is mentioned, one sees or many impressions assail one. Sometimes that of motherhood, sometimes that of protection, sometimes that of caring. So it is that a totality of that state of being, the totality of that state of being, of the female personality that is referred to as womanhood.
Thank you very much, Gregory. I'm going to just repeat what you've said, just so that it's sort of we get the full, we just get the proper understanding clear in our minds. So you say the state or condition of the present scenario, and of course you're referring to woman here, womanhood. So the state or condition of present scenario, which means refers to ennoblement. Some may have this impression also of motherhood, as you said, or protection, being caring, and it really, you said, it's a totality of all these, and of the within the, I don't know, so it's within or a characteristic of the female personality. Is that okay, what I've said?
Yeah, it's a characteristics of the female personality in their activities.
In
That
their
is what, yeah, that is what is being referred to as womanhood. The tasks which they need to fulfill, their duties.
Okay. And we are talking about human with a womanhood, Gregory, not animal or anything else. Right? Am I correct?
Of course, it is the human womanhood, or human, not.
Thank you. I just wanted to clear. That's why we do these definitions, so that as usual, Gregory, as we said, the context is very important. If people are having a different idea what these words mean, then they will not get anything from this show. So the idea is to, by going through the definitions at the beginning, everybody's supposed to be on the same context and the same page, hopefully. So that's how we. So let me move on now, Gregory. The next word is forms. Now, my goodness, I've got 7 definitions of that. Let me go through them. I think we better just go one by one. So the second word is forms, and the first one, bring together parts or combine to create something. So is that good for us, Gregory?
Will that be a form? Well, coming together
yes,
is more of an assemblage.
Right.
An assemblage of, say, different parts uniting. That is the picture one has when that word form is utilized.
Yes, it's very close, I will say. So then the next one, go to make up or constitute. I don't know if that's much better. I mean, is anything different? That sound similar to me. So go to make up or constitute. That's another meaning.
You could say these are all supporting expressions, trying to describe what it is.
Right. Then the next one, gradually appear or develop. Yes.
Again, these are pointers.
Right. Okay. Another one, conceive, brackets, an idea in one's mind.
Again, tied to conception. All right. Which conception? The picture of conception of things coming together.
Right. And then another form is establish, brackets, a relationship.
That's These are just different parts which one can pick bits and pieces, but
Mm.
one should not hold on to these things as such.
Okay, I will continue. Sorry about this, but there's two more to go. Another one, again, for the meaning of the word form, articulate, which is a word or other linguistic unit.
That is different, but again, it's also a pointer.
Okay, and the last one, construct. It says in brackets a new word by derivation or inflection.
Again, it's helpful.
Okay, we continue. So that is the word form, and now the next word is bridge. And here it says a structure carrying a road, path, railway, etc. across a river, road, or other obstacle. Like, is there any use for this, our discussion?
A bridge, what you just read out, is also a pointer that joins two different parts.
Right. Okay, that's good. And then the second meaning of bridge, it says the elevated enclosed platform on a ship. Oh, that's a specific for a ship. Okay, we leave that one. It's very specific, so we forget that one. Okay, the next word is luminous, and it says giving off light, bright or shining. That's the first meaning. Giving off light, bright or shining.
That is correct. More of an emanation of light.
Okay, and the second meaning of luminous, very bright in color, lurid.
Again, that's a good pointer.
Okay, and the last word in our topic is heights. And here, oh my goodness, I've got about five meanings given. So let's go through them. First one, measurement of someone or something from head to foot or from base to top. Is that relevant for us, Gregory?
These are pointers.
Okay, here we continue. The quality of being tall or high. This is another one.
It's the same as the first.
Okay. And the other one, a high place or position.
Yes, it's a picture.
Okay. And then the last two, the point or period at which something is at its best or strongest.
Like I said, these are just descriptions.
Okay. And I think I'll leave out the last one. It doesn't really help at all. So, okay. So let's repeat the topic again, listeners. The topic is womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. So this is now the first few words I think are in a way quite easy to follow, or let's say they are familiar. And then this last two words, luminous heights. People may not have even heard of this word, and they're wondering, is it some, I don't know what word to use. Is it something like a concept? Uh, or is it a particular place? Because it says womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. So please, Gregory, can you tell us what do we mean? What is meant by this word of luminous heights?
When first you hear of the word height, the first concept that comes to one's view is that of a distance, of a very long distance upwards. So one can already imagine. Of course, it is not new. Many looking outside and seeing the sun, one can know that the sun is luminous because it emanates light, but it's some distance from the earth. And that is a measurement, or that is a distance within the same species of matter, albeit what one may refer to as gross matter, but is within the same universe. Whereas that which is referred to is a distance which almost is of infinite distance towards the source of all things, from where the human personality first came into existence as an unconscious spirit germ.
Right. Thank you for that answer, Gregory. And I'm trying to. It's a very good so where you've explained it, and I'm just going to try to picture that. So you gave example like the sun, which is in our own universe, that we can see is a long distance away, and is high up. You can say. So yes, but that is in the same universe. But then you said in this case, when you're talking about luminous heights, it's another, well, let me say, world, or even big, is you almost at infinite, virtually infinite distance, um, which nobody can really imagine what that means. But definitely, you have been implying that it's beyond this universe, the physical universe that we are aware. So it's above that, and even you pointed to that it is the source of this world, the creator. So pointing to the creator, making a bridge, womanhood forms the bridge to this, to the creator. I think that's what, am I right to say that, Gregory?
The activities of womanhood, they do, if those activities are in accordance with the laws through which these womanhood came into existence.
Right. Thank you for that. Again, the picture you painted there. Uh, as usual in every show, we need to build the concept up to get to the proper understanding. These spiritual pictures are building blocks. It's not something like earthly words, which you can just straight away, everybody knows what it means. This one we have to, you say, work ourselves to see this picture. So thank you for that. Again, the picture you've given there, Gregory. Okay, we were going to, of course, keep exploring this further. Now, so we are saying that womanhood forms a bridge to luminous heights. And somehow, I'm wondering, okay, it looks like a man lacks or is not capable forming this bridge. So it's one wonders, okay, you need a woman or women to achieve, to form this bridge. Before we go there, Gregory, I still want to keep exploring the luminous heights. So is the aim, Gregory, for us human beings to reach, because one might think, oh, this is a high metaphoric sentence, womanhood forms the bridge to the luminous height. So is luminous height, is it actually a place that we are striving for, or is it a condition? You mentioned earlier a condition. Is it a condition that we have to achieve, like being, having nobility? You said nobility earlier, noble, I think it was noblehood, I've forgotten the exact word you used. So is this Is it about achieving this luminous heights, bridging womanhood, forming the bridge to luminous height? Is it actually like a metaphorical picture, phrase to achieve a particular condition, or is it a place that we are supposed? Because we said it was like almost infinite distance away. So is it actually a place or a condition that we are meant to strive for? I'm going to use the word strive for.
First, it is good to calmly consider that all birth on earth, all birth as regards men and women on earth, all of this came through the woman. That in itself is a fact. With that one at the background, then the question would be, it is a birth that which we are able to perceive with our five senses. What the woman has done is to, at the initial stage, provided the forms, provided the egg, which is fertilized, and incubates within herself. But the question is, what is it that makes use of this form that is being incubated? What is it that makes use of these which the woman carries within herself? To be able to answer these questions, then one has to go back to the beginning. And basically, it becomes very clear that these happenings are not arbitrary, that they are lawful, and there is a framework. That framework through which all that exists came into being, the framework of the laws of creation. And in that case, through this framework, there is that which one refers to as the law of reciprocal activity, and also the law of the attraction of homogeneity, and also the law of spiritual gravitation. Now, within this framework, one must ask, where does the woman stand and where does the man stand? Mere looking at man, one can see that he is more focused on the tedious jobs within creation, on the more solid job. So his build is directed towards that which is denser. On the other hand, the woman, her build is more sensitive, more intuitive. That already presents a picture of that which is nobler, and that which is finer. And as usual, it is that which is finer that is able to assess the fine vibrations which streams within nature, within creation. Therefore, in order to be able to work effectively, you have, on the one hand, the woman who is able, through her fineness of intuition, to perceive of the streams, the blessings which stream out, and pass it on, or these streams, to the man who will now make use of these streams of power and hopefully it does so in accordance with the laws, in accordance to the laws that permitted it. So what is stressed here is that the activities of the man and the activities of the woman, they complement, like has been stressed, one for all and all for one. To bring it down to mundane thoughts, here we are today discussing using what is available, which is the so-called modern technology. In the so-called modern technology that uses waves and vibrations, there is the so-called hardware. That means the devices which we use. And there is the other part which is referred to as the software. The software runs in the hardware. It is the software that is able, when programmed correctly, to give directions to the behavior of the hardware. And that is why you are able to have all these automations that you talk about. And that's why we're able to, in our discussions, use these so-called devices in our phones, in our communications, in our transportations. That is what happens. So there's one part which deals, which is the software, and the other part is the hardware. That is a coarse picture that one is painting, but they both work together. The woman, in her constitution and tasks, harbors that which is finer and is able to transmit these blessings that stream in nature, in creation, to the man who, in his density, is able to make use of it such that it becomes perceptible to our five senses. That activity of one for all and all for one, which is complementary, that in itself is in accordance with the will of the Almighty.
Thanks very much, Gregory, for giving this again a picture of activity of women and men where they're complementary, which is quite a, let's say, deep understanding is required to appreciate, in this modern world of equality and whatever modern, even they call it, I forgot the word for it, the certain politics that we have with language and so on, where people think that is the way of the progress of equality, but when they do that, they're forgetting the real nature of man and woman, male and female. So, and there is activity involved in it, as Gregory is pointing out. Certain things, the male is suited more than, and other things, women are suited more. So this is not about fighting and arguing about a particular concept or whatever what people try and do nowadays, but to actually appreciate the nature of what a human being is, or in this case, the male and the female human beings. So before I continue, Gregory, with more questions, I want to let the listeners know you're listening to Bless Radio. This is the Tuesday evening spiritual discussion program. The aim of the show is to introduce you to the spiritual knowledge in the light of truth, the Grail Message, by Aprushin. And if you wish to know more about the Grail Message or want to get a copy of the Grail Message for yourself, you can go to this website, which is www.grailmessage.com. I'll spell that, www.grail, Grail, message, MESSAGE.com. And the topic that we are discussing tonight is Womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. Womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. If you have any questions or comments, you can contact us on our UK number, which is 079 39 641 958. You can call, text, or use WhatsApp. And if you're outside of UK, it is 004479 39 641 958. Again, you can call, text, or use WhatsApp. And there's one other way to contact us, which is by going to the website where we are broadcasting, that is Bless Radio 1, that's the number 1.com. If you scroll down on the home page, you will see a box called Bless Chat. There you can type in any questions or comments. Now, as I've mentioned, we are broadcasting on Bless Radio 1, that's the number 1.com. And you can also listen to us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and type in the search box Bless Radio 1, the number 1 again there, space, live stream. That is for the live show, which we are broadcasting on Tuesday evenings, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. And apologies for our delayed start today. But usually that is, we do start from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. Now, you can also listen to the recording of this show the next day, also on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and type in the search box, Bless Radio 1, that's the number 1 again, space, Grail Message, space, the topic of the show, which tonight is womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. And of course, you can listen to the recordings of our previous shows also on YouTube. Thirdly, we are broadcasting on Zeno. That's ZENO.FM / Bless Radio 1. That's the number one again. Now, Gregory, we've been talking about womanhood, the activity of womanhood, you can say. And of course, there's man or manhood or mankind, whatever the word is. No, that's not the word. Mankind is a general term. So there's the male and the female. And we've said already that there's male you could say masculine activity. There's a feminine activity with human beings. And like as we know, woman is the only one who can have a baby. Is the only one capable of that. That is a special, you could say, task that they have that ability, which the male doesn't have it. So there's something special for that. It has to be there, specific for them. Now, and you've given also that the woman is a sensitive one and doing the finer tasks, while the male is doing the, you could say, the coarser tasks. Maybe I should use the word more. Coarser is good enough, I can say. And that makes the ability for the woman to form a bridge, gives that specific task of forming the bridge to the luminous heights. Okay, I still want to clarify about luminous heights. We have said it already that it is something that is you can consider far away and higher up. And I know I've already asked this question: is it a state or is it a place? And I know you did respond. So I'm trying to get. Okay, so Gregory, just to is it this place or condition? Is it? How can I put this? Can the male human being and has to go? How can I say? Let's say if it's a concept of traveling on a journey from this earth to, let's call it heaven to make it simple, okay? And the goal we know for us human beings is to, when we started as a unconscious spirit seed or germ in, I'm going to use the word heaven or spiritual world, and we started that journey as unconscious, and then we traveled all the way down to this earth to on a journey to become conscious, to even to become self-conscious. So this is what our journey is. So we are on this earth, and you could call the earth is like a halfway point of the journey, because that was to come to this earth, to experience, to mature, and then the aim is to go back to as a mature spirit, a self-conscious human spirit, or let's say from a baby to an adult, like we do on the earth. But this is a spiritual, a baby turning into a spiritual adult, which is coming from a long distance and going back to that point. So what I'm trying to get, Gregory, is let me just say directly, can the male human spirit do this journey without the female, the help, you could say, of the female human spirit, uh, or it's not, that's not possible?
When that question arises, then it is already assumed that the activity of the woman and the activities of the man are just by themselves. That is not the case. When it is said one for all and all for one, then you find that there is a unity, or there is a coming together to achieve a particular purpose, a particular goal. So you will find that in the perceptions of the woman, she acts like a bridge. If along the line that bridge is not there to mediate to those who are denser, if that bridge is lacking, how then can those who are denser able to perceive aright that which they need to accomplish? So you find they go hand in hand. One mediates, radiates. The other makes use of this radiation to accomplish specific tasks. In that accomplishment, they provide a counter radiation because they have now fulfilled that which is in accordance with the will or the laws of creation. So it's as if you have a cycle of radiation with the woman that emits, that gives off that which he has perceived, and the man laying its hands on it to make use of it. And that is how, even in the first instance, in the mediation, that which is of manhood is born on earth. The woman is about half a step higher than the man in her ability to perceive, whereas the man is half a step lower and is able to make use of this. When one is referring to luminous heights, one first has to look at the different categories. The nearest category that man or the human species know are those, or is that of the world of matter, which is massive. The universe and the world of matter. And outside the world of matter, which world of matter, of course, has different gradations, there is another world which one may refer to as that of the animistic. The vibrations of that of the animistic are finer, of a different species. Because they are finer and of a different species, they are higher. Outside that world of the animistic is another, the spiritual. The vibrations of the spiritual are much higher, finer, of a different species. And because they are finer and of a different species, that concept of distance comes into it all, because the higher or the finer the vibrations, the longer the distance. That being the case, one can now, to some extent, understand that in the spiritual, man, this time generally man, be it man or woman, the vibrations are so fine and so intense that they are unable to come to a consciousness or that of self-consciousness. One may repeat it and say the vibrations are so fine such that that which is of spirit and has the capability to become conscious is unconscious, because the heat generated at that particular place in the spiritual realm overwhelms those germs, those spirit seed grains or seed germs. Therefore, the only way that is open to them is another place where the vibrations are much reduced, such that those spirit seed grains or particles can gradually come to a realization of their existence, and subsequently, if they walk aright, will become self-conscious. That means they had to traverse, move away from their origin, where they are unconscious, to cooler regions. Cooler regions because the further away from the flaming, luminous existence where they are, flaming, luminous, that gives the strong impression of heat. They are unable to become conscious. But further away, where the vibrations are denser or cooler, gradually they are able to take on form. In taking on form, it is the woman, it is in the activities of the woman that makes it possible for the human spirit germ to have the form of man. One should not consider that the form which we bear is arbitrary. There must have been an original form which the human personality strives after. For only when the human spirit gem strives aright, or in his striving, does it take the human form, not the form of a plant, not in the form of a motor car, but the human form that we know. And woman herself has a role to play. Not only do we have womanhood in the world of matter, there is also womanhood in the spiritual. There is also womanhood in the highest spiritual. And there is also womanhood even within the direct radiation of the Almighty, that direct radiation which has always been there, which is referred to as divinity. To know more about this topic, on the task, on the purpose, on the duties which has accrued to womanhood, many are advised to examine the work, to weigh and to examine the work in the light of truth, that work which already gives you what luminosity is, light, and truth, that which already provides the foundation, which foundation is the unshakable, unwavering foundation for all activities, which activities are very well ordered in motion, which motion on several occasions in this forum has been described as a law in creation. So the purpose of our discussions like this is to provide tokens such that the seeking human personality will examine for itself, will weigh for itself, because this in itself is what the spirit needs. It is the food it needs to survive. It is the drink it needs to quench it. In short, it is life itself.
Thanks a lot, Gregory, for this explanation and detailed picture you're giving us. what I'm getting is that there, we came or we have been created through nature with, and there's a design there, and let's say with a human mind on this earth, we have a tendency to see from our point of view as if all these things are in the physical world, but really, if you see that it is nature that has designed us and produced us, and that world where we started this journey is not on the earth or the physical, but in the spiritual, which is, let's say, we are not so clear or familiar with. And however, it is necessary to understand what is this world that we actually originate from, the spiritual world. And not only that, what is this world, to find in our, you can say, have an understanding of this nature of the human being, where he or she comes from, and the activities that male and female human beings and responsibility that they have, it really is crucial to know this or to understand this, to form the right picture, is to know this is your journey starting here, going there, and coming back, a cycle, you can call it. We think of life and death, but that's on the earth even, only that part, most of us, as if that's all the journey is, but it's much more than that. So as Gregory's mentioned, all of this has been explained in the work In the Light of Truth, the Grail Message by Abdushin. And if you wish to really understand it, we recommend that you pick up the Grail Message and read it. And you can go to this website to find out about it as well. The website is www.grailmessage.com. I'll spell that: www.grail, Grail, message, MESSAGE.com. And the topic we are discussing tonight is Womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. Womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. If you have any questions or comments, you can send them to us or contact us on our UK number, which is 079 39 641 958. You can call, text, or use WhatsApp. And if you're outside of UK, it is 0044 79 39 641 958. Again, you can call, text, or use WhatsApp. And there's one other way to contact us, which is by going to the website where we are broadcasting. That is blessradio1, that's the number 1.com. If you scroll down on the home page, you'll see a box called Bless Chat. There you can type in any questions or comments. And as I mentioned, we are broadcasting on blessradio1, the number 1.com. You can also listen to us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and type in the search box Bless Radio 1, again the number 1 there, space live stream. That's to listen to the live show, which is broadcast on Tuesday evenings, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. You can also listen to the recording of this show the next day, also on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and type in the search box Bless Radio 1. Again, that's the number 1, space, Grail Message, space, the topic of the show, which tonight is womanhood forms the bridge to the luminous heights. And you can also listen to our previous recordings in the past shows, again on YouTube. Thirdly, we are broadcasting on Zeno, that's ZENO.FM / Bless Radio 1. That's the number 1. Now, Gregory, you have really very clearly explained the activity of you could say the male or the female human being, and how the male works. They both work complementing, male and female, in fulfilling their responsibilities and duties and working together to achieve this goal of our life as a human being, which is, as we've said a few times, to return to, let's call it the luminous heights, to heaven as a fully self-conscious human being. So this is a long, long journey. And along that journey, as we have said many times also, we work all for one and one for all. So within the human being species, the male and female work together, but not only that, the other beings, the nature beings, let's call them, they're working with us as well. You know, they form their own, they have their world, but they work with us as well. So it's incredibly big activity, I would call it, you know, which has been working under nature, let's say. Now, okay, I have just received a comment. I think it's a comment. Let me just see, from a listener. I'm just going to check what they're saying. If it's a comment. Okay, so Gregory, yes, I was going to come on this point. There has to be a particular state, you know, Gregory, we were saying, of how this the goal that we all human beings have of developing ourselves from unconscious to a self-conscious spirit. And I was wondering, Gregory, you know, you say all for one and one for all. Does it mean all the women must work together? Because to form this bridge to luminous heights, or is it just a few women can do that and provide the, I don't know what word is it, support, or the bridge is really what we are talking about? Because as you know, Gregory, everybody's an individual. We're all individual, and we have this free will. That's we haven't mentioned that till just now. Each human being does have a free will. They can, and we know we are so different, each as individual. Some may want to do this, another one may want to do that, and may even do not. We say all for one and one for all, but it's not something that we, how can I say, automatically do that. In fact, we go on our own ways most of the time, I will say. So my question in this point here, Gregory, is, can we human beings reach this luminous heights if, let's say, only a few women are working on their own, let's say, or it has to be the all womanhood working together to achieve this, um, journey to the luminous heights.
When a goal has to be accomplished, it is better that to accomplish that particular goal or task, all hands must be involved. That means there will be no idle hands. Therefore, for those who may be working unconsciously, at the same time working in accordance with the will of the Almighty, which are represented as the laws of creation, for those particular women who vibrate in such a way that they are able to dispense aright the blessings that stream through creation from the luminous heights, then you will find there are many who are able to perceive of these vibrations and make use of it. A very simple example is here we are, though very mundane. Here we are having a discussion, and this discussions is radiated through the so-called radio out. One or two persons may pick it. Millions may pick of it and make use of it. At the same time, it is possible that there may be others like us who, in their weavings, contribute to the goal which we also are striving at. The more that have that unique striving towards the luminous height to become self-conscious, the merrier it is. Because there will be also other vibrations which are noble, which are being dispensed, which are being mediated out, and others are able to pick of it and make use of it for themselves. The more that are involved in that type, striving after such goal, the easier it is for many. The fewer that are involved, then the more challenging it is. For there are other similar radiations which could also supplement that, which those who are standing aright, those women who stand aright, once you have those radiations which supplement what others are doing, that is also helpful.
Thank you, Gregory. Again, we're building on this picture of this activity, you know, of womanhood and manhood really working together. Um, and as you say, well, my question was about whether it can be few women working together or all the women together. And of course, we always say it's all for one and one for all, so it should be everyone. But Gregory, but the reality is some will not be, we know the world, how it is with freedom and so on. Each person wants to do his own thing. Um, so I'm wondering, how maybe, Gregory, only few will, fulfill this purpose of us human beings of becoming self-conscious spirits in, achieving that goal, and not everybody else. And so uh, now, what I want to ask, Gregory, I know you said the woman's task is to mediate, you could say, the radiation from the luminous world, luminous heights. Sorry, we were using the word luminous heights, and to bring it down, you could say, to this earth, um, and you could say touch human beings through that. Um, Now, how can that? How does this happen? How should a woman be, let's say, in her attitude and um, you know way of being, you can say, um, to achieve this? Um, is it? You talked about nobility early on. We didn't go further about this. So, is this being a good, moral person? Um, and setting an example of how to live in a good way, bringing up the children, because the children come from the woman or the mothers, you can say. So actually I want to say something. In Islam there's a saying that supposed to have come from Prophet Muhammad, that the heaven lies at the feet of the mother, your mother. So there's somewhere some similar, you could say, concept there, um, with what we are saying here about woman being the bridge to the luminous heights. So what is expected, Gregory, from a woman or womanhood? In Is it behavior? Is it what sort of activity on this earth are they meant to be doing? I know you mentioned about passing down the radiation from above, but how is it in a practical sense, Gregory? What is meant to happen there? Are they meant to speak, to the children and moral behavior, and somehow that we, behave the way we are meant to be? So, or they're meant to inspire us? So, yeah, please tell us this activity of the woman, that in a practical way, or what they are meant to do, and what is the effect on, let's say, humanity from their activity.
Whenever that expression woman is mentioned, the picture already arises within the individual, that's of nobility, because in all simplicity, the personality, the body which the person is using, has passed and nurtured through a woman. So respect. And that being the case, there is this longing for that which is noble. One may call it morality, but it is the purity. It is the purity. Purity in the sense that that which the human personality or that which had been mediated out from the luminous realm, only those who in their activities, in their high vibrations, resonate with it, only those are able to transmit it unblemished. That in itself is purity. And for many, they can already perceive in the woman that which is beautiful. Perceive that which is beautiful if and only if the woman herself does not swing in such a way as to stop that which is pure from resonating within her. That resonance within her of that which is pure is expressed not only in morality, but also in kindness, in consideration. That consideration which is selfless. It is the selflessness that is part of it. The purity, that which has been passed on to you. He or she who has received first should make use of it to understand it aright and subsequently pass it on to others. Pass it on to others in a form more readily understandable to those to whom you yourself pass it to. As long as no blemish is included, then it is pure. So it is the purity, of the thoughts, of the intuition. The first challenge is to keep the heart of their thoughts pure. That means to ensure it vibrates, it resonates with that which has been passed on to them. That's purity which resonates with the intuition. First, many need to sense aright what the intuition is. and how that intuition will also affect or have an impact on their thoughts. Very simply, go around and you will see most of the time through experience, women, even in deeds here on earth, strive to beautify themselves always. They strive to beautify themselves because it's ingrained deep within them. They strive to beautify themselves to ensure their body form or their sense should vibrate with such pure vibrations such that they would live aright. However, the challenge is always how should many go about it? Very simple. One may say that that which they themselves sense is uplifting within them, is of benefit to them, makes them happy, makes them fulfill their task. They should show such vibrations not only to themselves, but also to others. That is part of one for all and all for one. Then consider that if each female personality that spends time in their thoughts, in their intuitions, to beautify themselves such that it will resonate with the laws of creation, then if they take it further to others, one can imagine that before long, the earth itself will become like a paradise where all that swings on the earth will be beautiful. Such hatred that abounds now will not be there because each personality strives to be beautiful not only in deeds, but also in thoughts, also in intuition, and above all, in their sensing, in their personal vibrations, they are able to resonate with that which they sense, with that which they long for. And they not only show respect to themselves, but respect to others who look up to them, whether it is be they their children or not, their husbands or not, but anyone on earth whom they sense strives to become conscious. It is not as challenging as many think, but a firm will is required to show example of kindness, of all the good things that many perceive.
Thanks a lot, Gregory. In this, again, the picture you're painting about what the activity of womanhood should be like. You mentioned purity and working with this, I don't know if the right word is an attitude or this, atmosphere of purity and, ruling, you could say, providing that atmosphere, let's say, and living in that atmosphere, and then also beauty. Now, they say one beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and definitely each person has his own ideas. But let's say there should be a guiding principle or way of, you could say, tuning in to what is beauty. I mean, in a way, it's very easy to see it. Gregory, can we just clarify this beauty? Is it only the physical beauty you were referring to, or more than that? Because somebody's personality, they may not look physically beautiful, but their activity and their nature, personality characteristic could be beautiful. So if you can just clarify what you mean by beauty.
That which is beautiful is all embracing. It's not one-sided. So one should not be considering only that which is so-called physical, but there's also the beauty of one's thoughts, the beauty of one's intuitions. These beauties manifest in the simplicity of thoughts, in the simplicity of the intuitions. So that in itself is the characteristic of the inner attitude. That is what drives the personality rather than the one-sidedness which many have resorted to by being or by looking, in quotes, desirable. That doesn't mean they are beautiful. Yet deep within them are filled with that which is ugly. For that which is beautiful must swing unconditionally in the laws of creation in such a way as to uplift the human personality, for it is the upliftment of the inner personality that is part of the growth. That is part of the process from which, of which you have the personality of yesterday in its evolution from a state of consciousness to a state of higher consciousness. That means from the state of one awareness to a state of higher awareness. It has to be all embracing. It is not partial. For the more the human personality becomes aware, becomes aware of its tasks, of its responsibility. When the human personality knows that what it receives, it needs to make use of it very vigorously and through its activities, encourage others, nudge others in the same direction of ennoblement, then it does it without asking for any gross material benefit because it is now convinced that that is the way forward. So that which is beautiful must swing within the laws of creation, and it must also have an impact not only on the physical body, but also in the thoughts of the individual, in the intuitions of the individual. Then the human personality becomes free to attract those fine vibrations which are noble, those fine vibrations which are there, which are nurtured by those other beings who work in creation, whose task it is to assist the human personality to come to personal recognition, to self-consciousness also. Subsequently, that personality becomes conscious of the web of the blessings. Then it needs have no fear because fear has always been the obstacle, the obstacles in the perception of woman, thinking that many will look down upon them when in their activities they strive after nobility. Therefore, many deviate from that which nature has granted them and strive after one-sidedness, at the same time suppressing other parts within them, that means in their thoughts and in their intuitions. So that which is beautiful must have an impact on the whole, not only in parts.
Thanks very much, Gregory, for again giving a comprehensive answer and picture to this question about beauty. You know, it's all embracing, like you've said, and it impacts, you could say, the world around us in thoughts, deeds. So it's really incredible. Now, Gregory, I just want to look at another angle. If on this earth only few human beings or women strive in this way that you have said how we are meant to live, which is in purity, in beauty, it's in a spiritual sense of it. Only few people are doing this, and the rest are doing something different, let's say. even maybe opposing it. Um, one of the listeners, I mentioned one listener did contact us, and he sent a photo of, let's say, what we are quite used to seeing, you can say, where people are out in the streets walking around in what he called like their underwear, which is they're going for a jog, and and it's men and women doing this actually. Uh, so uh, not dressed in a way. I know the word underwear sounds very crazy, that you would go in public in that way, but what he meant is they're wearing, you could say, short dresses or some whatever it is, the way to express it. So you can imagine when you're jogging and what you might be wearing. So and he gave another picture which he said how people used to dress in quotes, let's say 19th century. They were full dress, wearing a full dress. I mean, I know there are two different activities people are doing there, but he was comparing. But this is the general way that people are today, and then how they used to be, let's say, 100 years ago. They used to, because people wouldn't be dressed that way at all in the public. Um, so it seems people have lost their way, you can say, or their standards. So, and that is the majority of us, you can say, are like this. So, I guess the question I want to ask here, Gregory, is if what's the direction of the, is it only a few people, Gregory, can be saved in terms of striving for this purity and beauty, the spiritual way of seeing things, living? Only few people are interested in that, then the majority who are, let's say, interested in something different. So does that mean, I'm thinking of this question, how is, so let's say for the future, are we expecting human beings to achieve this, reach this bridge, through this, through achieve this, because our journey, a goal to reach the luminous heights, or is the world's future is not is the other way, you can say, not to reach this luminous heights?
Those who are able to arrive at the luminous heights as self-conscious human personalities are those who have fulfilled their tasks in accordance with the will of the Almighty. Whether they are few or many, one is unable to determine. But the condition is clear. Those who fulfill their tasks and are able to influence others through their activities as to help to suck them up to become self-conscious, those ones fulfill their tasks. As to who is doing it and not doing it, one is unable to say, very simply, because what you see are the externals. You cannot see the thoughts of men or women, neither can you see or perceive the intuitions. And the laws of nature takes into cognizance the deeds, the thoughts, and the intuitions. So only through the laws of creation, which laws are expressed as the will of the Almighty. Only through this and this alone will many or some be able to resonate and draw the powers which will subsequently elevate them to the state of consciousness in a step-by-step manner, and to finally arrive at their destination as self-conscious human personality.
Thanks again, Gregory, for this answer you've given. It's good you have not given a definitive answer. People are going this way or going that way. Even at the last moment, people can change their direction. So, and not, as you already point, I don't be judging by externals, because what is within you don't know. Because it's, you could say that's the modern culture. That's how people are. All, let's say, general public is dressed in this underwear, as this person was showing his pictures, sharing these pictures. So I know we can't see them in our radio show, but that's he was pointing this difference of today and 100 years ago. So, yes, the real thing is the striving, as you say. That is the one that is going to direct our fate, you can say. So, yeah, thank you for that. Now, I was thinking when we came to this topic for tonight, which is womanhood forms the bridge to luminous heights. In the Grail Message, there are a number of lectures one can sort of connect with in this topic. And so there's one called Watch and Pray, another one called Do Not Fall in Temptation. Another one is The Guardian of the Holy Flame. So some of them you can say it's referring as directly to womanhood, and others not so direct, mankind, you can say, in general. But it talks about, they talk about our current state and how we are meant to be. You know, as earlier you were pointing to, Gregory, the task of woman and the task of man, or they're different, let's say, tasks, you can say, where they complement each other, you know, and you can't do one without the other. That's where we came to realize that it's meant to work together towards the goal. And that was just between male and female humans, but actually it's also the whole creation. We have to work with the whole creation as well. So you can see there's these principles that are, I will say, we are meant to discover or come to realization and consciousness of it, so that we can fulfill our task. So just wondering if I should read something. I didn't select this before the show, so I'm a little bit wondering, but I do wish to read something here. Okay. Yes, let's start. Yes, this is from the lecture in the Grail Message called Do Not Fall in Temptation. And I'm starting not at the beginning, but somewhere you could say a little bit in the middle. Hence the demand: watch and pray so that you do not fall in temptation. First, comprehend these words aright. Then you will indeed learn to recognize the strict demand they contain. Watch calls upon the alertness of your intuitive perception and thus demands the mobility of your spirit. This alone harbors true vigilance. And it is here too that womanhood must again take the lead, because she is given a more extended and more delicate ability of intuitive perception. Womanhood must be vigilant in the strength of her purity, which she must serve if she faithfully wishes to fulfill the task of womanhood in this creation. But this she can only do as a priestess of purity. Watch and pray are the words which you are once more given on your path, which you are once more given on your path. The watching concerns your life on earth, during which you must at any moment be ready of your own accord clearly to perceive the impressions assailing you, and also to weigh and scrutinize them, as well as carefully to examine beforehand everything emanating from you. Praying, however, ensures the maintenance of the connection with the luminous heights and the opening of oneself to holy streams of power for earthly application. That is the purpose of prayer, which compels your mind to turn away from this earth upwards. Hence the demand, the fulfillment of which will bring you nothing but inestimable gain through strong help, to the supply of which you otherwise close yourselves by not observing the laws in creation. If you fulfill both, you can never fall in temptation. Interpret this hint aright also, for when it is said to you that you do not fall in temptation, this does not perhaps mean that you will no longer be afflicted by temptation, that such keeps aloof from you if you watch and pray, i.e., that you do not come into temptation. But it signifies that if you always remain alert and pray, you can never fall when temptation approaches you. You are able to face all dangers victoriously. Just emphasize this sentence aright in the sense in which it is meant. Therefore, do not put the stress on the word temptation, but on the word fall. Then you will have immediately grasped the right meaning. It says, watch and pray so that you do not fall in temptation. Thus, watching and praying is a protection against falling. But here, amid the darkness, do not rule out the approach of temptation. Indeed, temptation can only strengthen you if your attitude is right. Under the compulsion of the necessary resistance, it will kindle your spirit to become more glowing and burst into flames, and is thus bound to bring you great benefit. All this, however, will no longer endanger mankind, but become a joy to them, an agreeable spiritual activity which only furthers rather than hinders, as soon as womanhood faithfully fulfills the task granted to her by the Creator, for which she was specially equipped. If only her volition is at last honest, then it will not be difficult for her really to fulfill. Her task lies in the priesthood of purity. This she can apply everywhere at any time. She does not need special responsibilities for this, but she can exercise it without further ado in every look and every word that comes from her lip, even every movement. It must become quite natural to her. To swing in the light of purity is her real element, the element to which she has kept herself closed till now through frivolous and ridiculous vanity. Wake up, you women and girls. In fulfillment of your human womanhood, proceed along the path which the Creator has precisely marked out for you, and on account of which you are really allowed to stand in this creation. Then, very soon, miracle after miracle will be revealed before you. For wherever you look, everything will begin to bloom, because God's blessing streams through you abundantly as soon as the purity of your volition smooths the path to it and opens the gates within you. Happiness, peace, and joy, such as never existed before, will cover this earth radiantly when womanhood forms the bridge to the luminous spheres, keeps awake the longing for the light in every spirit, and becomes the guardian of the holy flame. I'm going to stop there. This I was reading from the lecture in the Grail Message called Do Not Fall in Temptation. I thought I would end with that, our show tonight, on the topic of womanhood forms a bridge to luminous heights. And dear listeners, if you wish to pick up the Grail Message or want to get more information on the Grail Message, you can go to this website, which is www.grailmessage.com. I'll spell that www.grail, Grail, message, message.com. Gregory, is there anything you'd like to say to the listeners? Or just to say we've come to the end of the show tonight, listeners. We've hope you've enjoyed the discussion. And then again, apologies for our late start. It was not in our hands. We were not able to connect to the radio website, and now in the end we did it. So I'm grateful for that. So Gregory, I want to ask you, is there anything you would like to say to the listeners to say goodbye?
Wishing listeners a beautiful week.
Thank you. Same from me, listeners. Have a beautiful week. A new month has started, I should have said at the beginning, which is very special. So blessings of this month to you. And we will be back next Tuesday, as usual, hopefully on time, 6 p.m. UK time, until 8 p.m. with another topic. Have a great week. Good night. God bless.